Can you spare some change? How about you? Can you spare some change? I'm sure somebody out there can spare some change. Now, the change I'm referring to amounts to much more than the sum of the copper and silver pieces that we all have hiding in our respective couches. And the change that I'm talking about means infinitely more than the decision you make to switch from one outfit to the next before you go out on a night in the town. And the change I'm referring to is infinitely more important, albeit not as much fun, as the switching up process that my brain does every time my husband thinks he knows what I'm thinking. Change is good. Now, change comes in a lot of different ways. For some, that change comes by a decision, a conscious decision to change. By others, it's by design. For me, myself, it was born out of necessity, and it definitely came with the territory. Now, as some of you know, I just finished what I like to call an extended vacation at a very exclusive resort in Pocatello, Idaho, the Pocatello Women's Correctional Center. Now, I definitely do not recommend the destination, and I definitely do not recommend my travel agent. I mean, the furnishings were sparse, the food definitely not 5-star, and to be honest, I don't look good in stripes. The fact is, out of something negative, I was able to find something positive. Because during that time, it gave me an opportunity to look at myself and see what I needed to do to make some changes so that I could make a difference. You see, back then I wasn't really doing anything bad, but I definitely wasn't doing anything good. Does that make sense? I had become a victim of what I like to say is complacency. I'd become reasonably comfortable with a certain level of mediocrity. The fact is, we have to stand up and make changes in order to make a difference. Now, change is scary. I think we can all agree on that. Even some of the smallest changes can be utterly terrifying. At one point in my life, I remember going into a grocery store and having a panic attack because they had stopped selling the brand of peanut butter that I was accustomed to buying. Now, that's sad. There's a famous song by John Mayer that says, "Me and all my friends, we're all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could." You see, we see what's wrong with the world and with those who lead it, but we're afraid that we don't have the means to stand up and to beat it. Because why? Because we're waiting on the world to change. That's why we're waiting on the world to change. Do you see the problem? If we sit back and wait for the world to change it will, but probably not for the better. We would do better to embrace the sentiments of another famous artist, Michael Jackson, God rest his soul, when he said, "I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to make a change." You see, that's where it starts, with the man or woman in the mirror. We are the conscious light of awareness. We are the catalyst that can truly make a difference in this world if we just take the time to make the change. We need to embrace the mantra of Mahatma Gandhi when he said, "Be the change you want to see in this world." Bottom line is, nothing changes if nothing changes, and that change has got to start with us. There's never ever a shortage of causes that truly are worth fighting for in this world. Take homelessness, for instance. You may not be aware, but nearly 22,000 individuals experienced homelessness last year alone in the state of Arizona. 22,000. That's roughly half the population of Casa Grande. That's scary. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time dealing with the heat. But at least I know I can get out of the elements and into some kind of climate control. Can you imagine not even having that option? It's terrible. Let's look at the opioid epidemic. According to the CDC, nearly 60,000 deaths last year were attributed to the overdose and use of opiates. Do you realize that just in Arizona alone, there's been an increase of nearly 74% in deaths related to opioids. That's terrifying. There's domestic violence. Every year, thousands of individuals are critically injured or killed because of the long-reaching arms of domestic violence. Many of them are children and elderly people. That's heartbreaking. But the list goes on and on. There's gun control. There's clean water. There's animal cruelty. Save the whales. There's the hunger problem, not just in the world, but here in the area we live in. There's thousands and thousands of causes that are worth fighting for. Now that doesn't mean that you have to pick your cause and then get gung-ho and run down to the State House or the governor's mansion and start picketing. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to stage a sit-in or a hunger strike. It doesn't even mean that you have to make a large monetary donation to an organization that fights for the cause that you believe in. Many of us don't have that option. But there are two commodities that almost all of us have to some degree, and that's time and energy. And if in fact you feel like you don't even have those, what you can do is get out there and learn about the cause that makes your blood boil, and then get out there and teach other people. Let the world know. It's a proven fact that one of the best deterrents to apathy is knowledge. So get out there and impart some knowledge to someone else. The fact is, we have to stop just being good human beings. We have to become good humans doing. That means getting up, getting moving, and getting out there and doing what the good Lord put you on this earth to do. And that's to make a difference. I truly believe that any one of you, any one of us can make a difference. We just have to cultivate the desire to do so and then get moving. That way, the next time somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, can you spare some change?" you'll be able to stand up with a resounding, "You know what? I already have. Thank you."